feel like society has really put a damper on women where we need to rush to be in a relationship. And I'm not sure where I said this, but girl, you only need one person. If you're looking for a committed relationship or lifelong partner, you only need one person. You only need one person who's able to understand you, one person who you're able to be your authentic self around, one person who can go with you on a hiking trail or go with you in a 5-star dinner. You only need one. Everyone else is an experience. Everyone else is for you to learn more about yourself and for you to potentially learn more about other people. You're 24. Relax. There's no big deal. Most people have a slew of bad relationships before they come across the one. Why is that? Because you only need one person. If those other partners were good, then you will still be in a relationship with them. You broke up with them for a reason because you're still learning, you're still finding, and you're still exploring. Hello and welcome to Kitchen Table Advice. My name is Paola and I am the host of this podcast. This podcast is a safe place where you can ask for any advice you want. It can be relationship advice, both platonic or romantic, career advice, or life advice. I wanted to create a safe place where you can ask for your advice without fear. My purpose here is to serve as a guide and give you a different perspective for you to eventually both find your purpose in life as well as your voice. As a reminder, every name will be anonymous and your identity will always be kept a secret. This is not professional advice and I am not a licensed therapist or psychologist. Just think of this as advice you would get from a close friend on the kitchen table. So, let's begin. Hello, my wonderful gems. How are you? I hope you're doing amazing. If you're a returning gem, welcome back. If you're new here, hello, how are you? Make sure you set out the vibe. And if you like what you're listening to, then please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. Okay, so as usual, we just jump into the first story of the episode. The title of the first story is How to Break a Pattern of Attracting Insecure Men. Okay, so let's jump in. I am a 24-year-old woman who is successful, ambitious, confident, and social. Honestly, reflecting back on my dating history, I realize I've only dated deeply insecure men that are either controlling or emotionally unstable. I have this thing where I always try to be the fixer, and I have this need to fix people I care for. It has cooled down through the years, but it's still here. In my recent relationship, I thought that I finally got out of this pattern. But no, he ended up being possessive and on top of that, cheated on me. Parentheses, which is the first because of long distance. Now with the breakup, I realized how deeply emotionally unstable he was, and I didn't even realize it. I'm trying to understand what is that pattern that I just can't seem to recognize. What is there that I always miss to see in males and realize it when it's too late? Any books, advice, or instruction video or theory to recommend to me to understand that would be helpful. Thanks a lot. Okay, so I'm just gonna start off the thing with you're 24. It's like I feel like society has really put a damper on women where we need to rush to be in a relationship. And I'm not sure where I said this, but girl, you only need one person. If you're looking for a committed relationship or lifelong partner, you only need one person. You only need one person who's able to understand you, one person who you're able to be your authentic self around, one person who can go with you on a hiking trail or go with you in a 5-star dinner. You only need one. Everyone else is an experience. Everyone else is for you to learn more about yourself and for you to potentially learn more about other people. You're 24. Relax. There's no big deal. Most people have a slew of bad relationships before they come across the one. Why is that? Because you only need one person. If those other partners were good, then you will still be in a relationship with them. You broke up with them for a reason because you're still learning, you're still finding, and you're still exploring. I feel like we can really put a damper on ourselves to try to rush and have this perfect fairy tale relationship. After the fairy tale, it ends happily ever after. After that is the end. There's no more. Why? Because every person in those fairy tales, the prince or the girl, They met each other. That was it. It's the end. Now they go on and they live their happy lives. You don't need the whole gender of men or women to like you. That is completely ridiculous. You only need one person. At the end of the day, you go through a super bad relationship until you meet the one. That is it. Some people are lucky enough to meet the one in the beginning, but most of us are gonna meet the one either down the line or somewhere in the middle. But don't beat yourself down. Now that you have gone through these relationships and you find out there's something not quite, I don't want to say normal because I really don't like using that term a lot, but there's something that you don't quite vibe with how these men are presenting themselves. Just analyze your relationships objectively. Don't try to end. By the way, I know this is difficult, even though I'm giving you this advice and I'm making it sound simple. I understand it is difficult. All right. Try to look at your relationships objectively. Try to look at what has happened during those relationships. How did they treat you? How did you treat them? What in those relationships did you like? What about those relationships did you like? What about those relationships did you not like? And as far as red sign to look out for, it really depends. Some people really do put up a good front and they do put up a good game because they want to be quote unquote chosen and they think they have to say all these quote unquote right things. It is a thing that happens in society. Even though I always urge you to be honest and to be forthright, I do understand people lie. Okay? Understand that is a thing. So things to look out for, I would just tell you, for quote unquote things to look out for, I'm just gonna tell you to trust your instinct. If something doesn't seem quite right with this guy, there's something off, you can't quite put your mind on it, you don't know what it is, trust that instinct and just move accordingly. I'm not the type of person who is ever going to tell you, you should give them a chance. Absolutely not. If your instinct is telling you something isn't quite right, that's for a reason. Because again, I'm pretty sure I said this before, but I'm going to say it again. Your instincts is picking up on small cues, very small cues that your conscious mind is not able to pick up on. That's why instinct sometimes may not quite make sense to us. And then in hindsight 2020, you realize your instinct was right. Because your instinct is picking up on small unidentified cues that your conscious mind is not able to pick up on. This is why I always tell you, trust your instinct. If you think something is happening, you don't need proof. This is a relationship. You are not on trial. You are not going this. This is just a relationship. You do not have to associate with someone if you don't want to associate with them. It's not a crime to not have someone around you, okay? So trust your instinct and move accordingly. If you feel like you need to completely cut them out, completely cut them out. If you feel like you need to have a watchful eye, have a watchful eye. But don't ever go blindly in a relationship where your instincts are screaming at you, girl, this may not be it. Or, boy, this may not be it. Just trust that and move accordingly. But yeah, that's basically all I'm going to say, because people come in various shapes and sizes, and it would be nice if we had a list of things to look out for, but unfortunately, criminals are like viruses. Okay. Criminals are like viruses and they adapt. Cheaters are like viruses and they adapt. Okay. The more we have, if we have a list of what to look out for, they're going to study that list and then try to do the opposite. So the only thing I can tell you is trust your instinct. It's not going to lead you astray. Your instinct is there to guide and to help you out. Okay. Your instinct wants you to survive and wants you to be happy, just like you want yourself to be happy. So that's what I'm going to tell you. Just trust your instinct and move accordingly. And if you're 24, your 20s are your years of exploration, okay? Just go out, experience the world, and enjoy. How many relationships have you had at 24? Maybe like 3 or 5. It really depends. It's yes, for some 3 or 5 might be a lot, but is it really a lot? I don't know. But don't beat yourself up so much. Just go into relationships as an experience. Obviously, this is not, I'm not saying withhold information or don't be vulnerable and intimate. Do what is comfortable for you to do. Because again, if your instinct is saying don't do this, listen to that. But go into a relationship and do what is comfortable for you to do. But also have a watchful eye. And if it doesn't work out, it just wasn't meant to be. And that doesn't mean you're a bad person. That doesn't mean you're not worthy of love or affection. That means none of that. It just means They are not your forever partner. They are not your lifelong partner. They are not, if you want marriage, they are not the person you're supposed to marry. So just move on and go to another place and go to another relationship, or move on, do some work on yourself, evaluate the relationship, and then when you're ready to date, go out to date. It's not, it's really not that big of a deal. Okay. Over here, it's not that big of a deal. Other people might give you different advice, but over here is just move, move to your pace. Just move to your pace. All right. So that is it for that story. We're going to take a break right now and come back with the second story of the episode. All right, so we are back with the second story of the episode, and the title is "How Do I Learn to Talk/Flirt with Men If I'm Insecure?" Short advice is don't do it, because men can pick up on your insecurities and so can women. But let's just dive in. I'm a 25-year-old woman, and I've never dated and have only had physical encounters once, but I was drunk, so I don't really count it. Understandable. Most of my life, I didn't really get attention from men. I usually got it from women until recently. I don't know what or why, but lately men have been flirting with me and I don't know how to respond. I've been working out and lost a couple of pounds and starting to take care of myself. I'm not exactly girly and I barely wear makeup. And I dress mostly in streetwear or comfortable, so I'm not like standing out or anything. I've been extremely depressed these past few months, isolated and rotting in bed. I just recently got back outside, going to the gym, grocery stores, movies, and whatever I need to get back into society. My social skills aren't the best, and it has definitely declined, but I am working on it. Being flirty with or stared at constantly is throwing me off though, lol. How can I be confident and spark up conversation with men? I'm sick of being shy, and I honestly want to start dating eventually. I've always thought that once I hit my goal weight or look a certain way, get my degree, make a certain salary, and just basically have my life together, then I will start dating. But time is going by and I'm missing out. Okay, I'm just gonna jump into this advice, and I think if this is you, or you're in a similar situation, my advice is do not date. Do not date. This is a dangerous place to be in. This is how women find themselves in abusive relationship. This is how women find themselves in horrible partners. This is how women find themselves with men who are just there to siphon their resource, siphon their energy, and it is not good. If you're in this place, do not date. And this is coming from a place of love. It's not because I'm trying to hate on you, girl. I'm really not. But if you are insecure, or you are going to a depressive mood, or you have depressive tendencies, don't date. You don't want to date in a place like this, because you're in a place where you're in a scarcity mindset, where you're willing to just take anything that is willing to look at you. This is very dangerous. Do not date if you're in a place like this. I would suggest you keep going at it. If you want to improve your social skills, then go on a meetup and just befriend people. Don't date. Don't see anyone as a romantic prospect. Just have conversations with people. I think sometimes when we get into our mind where we have to look for a romantic partner, we forget we actually have to like the person, as a person, as a full individual, with all the good and all the bad and whatever's in between. We have to know that, and we have to like that, or maybe be willing to compromise, because life is life, right? But if you're in a situation like this where you're insecure, you're depressed, it's just, this type of attention will be very detrimental to you in the long run. You don't want to date in a situation like this. I would just tell you, focus on yourself. Focus, since you reach your goal, where you are, just have more social interactions with people, men and women alike. Don't think romantic partner. Please don't. I know it can be very tempting, and some guys out there is just purely visual. they really don't care about what you quote unquote bring, it will still siphon your feminine energy. And yes, you can still have feminine energy when you are in a depressive mood or if you're insecure. Just by being a woman, you kind of have feminine energy. But I would tell you, don't date in a situation like this. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. And what else? What else was I gonna say? I understand how being flirted with is kind of throwing you off, especially if it's something you're not used to. And yes, you are 25, and some people may tell you, oh, this is a perfect time for you today. However, it is better for you to be single than to be in a toxic relationship. If I can if I can help a woman not be in a toxic relationship, then I'm always going to advise you against that, because I don't see this panning out well. I always feel like before people should be in a relationship, they should know who they are, know what they want, know what type of partner they want to be. Are you still going to meet people who are going to try to play game on you? Yes, you are. Some people are just liars. And people are just being people out here. They think like they have to play this game or try to manipulate you to get the outcome they want, but it never pans out. The only successful relationships are the relationships where people are honest, they're forthright, they put themselves out there. This is not me on the first date you just say everything. Obviously, you should take some caution, especially with someone you don't know. But as time develops and as time goes on, this is when you get to be more intimate. You get to be more vulnerable with the person. You let your true personality shine and give that person space to accept you for who you are. Not with you playing a role where you feel like you have to manipulate, but let them. Basically, what I'm trying to say is let them see the authentic you and decide if they want to be in a relationship with you or not. I feel like the reason why a lot of people are not in good relationships is because they are scared and they have been rejected before, and now they don't want to put themselves out there. So they build up this persona, this front where they go out into the world and try to shield themselves. However, when you do get in a relationship, when you do get in a close space with someone, that is when your persona is supposed to come down. But they don't have that gauge of let your persona down and let your true self shine. They still try to put up this persona as their authentic self, and then they get played, and then they start blaming other people or they start blaming themselves. Anyways, I talk more about building a persona and emotional needs on the emotional needs portion, on the emotional needs blog on the website. So if that interests you, then please feel free to go there. So I'm just going to conclude this story by saying, just keep focusing on yourself, keep focusing on your weight loss journey, keep focusing on your career, keep focusing on your hobbies, whatever they may be, and just place yourself in social interactions. If you're not the bar girl or you're not this type of girl, then just go do your hobbies outside. I always tell you guys, that's how you're going to meet other people, like-minded people who are able to understand you. Pursue your hobbies outside and try to be social. Talk to the girls, talk to the guys, but don't think in a romantic sense. And I know it can be very difficult because we're basically advertised in our 20s we're supposed to be in a relationship. But if you're in this situation where you're insecure and you're depressed, it's a bad look. It's only going to end up in a toxic situation. And honestly, if you can dodge a toxic relationship, do that. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. All right, so this is where I'm going to end. So thank you so much for listening to this episode, and please let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Tell me what you like, what you dislike, or if you need to add more to the topic, then that would be very helpful. And secondly, we get our stories on our new website now. So no longer on our Gmail account, but now we get our stories on our website, which is kitchentableadvice.com. That's where we get some of our stories as well as business inquiries. Thirdly, our website also offers a plethora of different stuff and different works we're involved in, such as poetry, art, and the blogs. So if that interests you, then please feel free to check out our website. Thank you so much for listening to us, and we see you next week. Bye.